Hello, Duranis here, and welcome to a new series of Factorio. So, if you've not seen this game before, it's basically like a cross between SimCity and Minecraft. The end point of the game is basically you're supposed to go up through the technology trees until you can call in your colonization ships, and once you do that, you get constantly attacked, and if you survive the attacks, then you win the game. All that being said, though, the main point of the game is basically to automate all the things and make massive factories. So, with that in mind, let's sort of get going. And you can see here we have ore, so we've got copper ore there, and up here we have iron ore, and then over here we've got some oil, and we've got some coal there and some stone there, and that's basically most of the resources is copper, iron, oil, coal, wood and water is pretty much it. You don't have too many uses for wood once you get going, but I'm going to grab a little bit of this here, and I'll just grab that one as well. So yeah, to begin with, you start off just with some very basic stuff. So if I open this up, and you see on the right hand side here it says crafting. These are basically all the things that I can craft at this point in time. So as we research new stuff, as you can see it says press T to start new research. That will basically unlock new crafting recipes for us. So it's very limited to begin with. And you can see down here we have starting off with a burner mining drill and a stone furnace. So we're going to use these to start gathering some iron up here. So we'll chuck the drill down, and we'll just chuck it down there, and then we'll chuck the furnace in front of it. And you can see when I mouse over the drill, it's got a little arrow pointing out to the right hand side, and that's basically showing what way the output is on that machine. So if I chuck some wood in there, and I chuck some wood in there, and we can use the wood as fuel at this stage, and that's going to make iron plates. So we can grab the iron plates and put them in there, and that's basically the start of what we need here. Other things we're going to need to make some more of them drills. So I'm going to come over here and grab a bunch of stone, and you can see I'm actually mining quite slowly by hand. So I'm going to press E and make an iron axe. You can see came up in the bottom left hand corner, and then now we've got an iron axe over here, and we actually mine quite a bit quicker with that. So I'm going to grab probably about 20 stone here, and that will allow us to make a few more miners, and it takes 5 stone per miner, so this will let us make 4 miners. So it's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. So what else do we need? We need iron plate as well, so let's go up and grab the iron plate from here. And if you want to grab something out of an inventory, you can just hold down control and left click on it, and that picked up all the iron plate. So that's going to make 2 of them, which we'll do for the moment. So I'm just going to right click on them to make, normally it'd make 5, but as 2 is all we can make, that's all it's going to make. And we're going to come down here to the coal, and a nice little trick for the coal is if you put one of them down, so you see you've got the arrow pointing to the right, and put the other one next to it and press R to rotate, so it's pointing back into that first one, and they're basically just going to feed each other with coal. So if I just grab a single piece of coal here and drop it in there, that's going to fuel that one up, and then once that gets some coal, that's going to push it into here and fuel this one up. So that's a nice easy way to automate coal production. I'll just come and grab the excess when I need it there. So I'm going to run back up here because that's going to run out of coal, and chuck that spare bit of coal in there and grab the iron from there, and I'm going to make 1 more of them and 1 more of them, and I'm going to need some more stone as well, so let's just go down and grab some more stone. So I'm going to grab another 10 stone just so I've got enough to make another miner burner and a furnace there. So that's 5, 6. So there's quite a lot of manual stuff at the very, very start, but once you get past this, it's basically creating factories to automate everything. That's pretty much the whole aim of the game. So yeah, like I said, I picked this game up a couple of weeks ago. I've put maybe a dozen hours into it, more or less. Really, really fun game. I've not sort of got to the very end goal yet, but I've sort of played 2 sort of end game stuff, and there's a lot of detail in it. So later on you'll see we get things like logistics robots, which basically allow us to move items around by robot. So you It's a bit like in Minecraft where you have ender chests and you can put items into one chest and then the robots will be able to take it out of there and put it into another inventory. So it's a pretty cool system and you can do a lot with it as well. Let's make 2 more of them. And we're going to chuck these down on the coal. So yeah, a little bit slow to begin with, but I sort of wanted to show this all on camera, so if you've not played this game before, you get an idea of how it starts off and some good, easy ways to get going here. So I've just rotated this one so it's pointing downwards, and that's going to feed into there. This is going to go in a nice little circle and feed around. So let's just grab the surplus coal. And we need some more stone as well. So I'm going to run up and just put some coal in here. And put some in there, grab the iron, and I'm going to go and grab some more stone again. And I'm just going to need 5 stone here. So the main goal to begin with is really to get into electricity generation, and once you get that going, then you don't have to worry about fueling your miners and things like that, because you can use electricity to do it. And that's sort of where you can then start doing your research as well. I'm just going to quickly make a chest here as well. So let's put this down on this stone patch here, and I'll put the chest in front of it, and we'll put half of the fuel in there that we've got, and that's just going to put the stone into that chest, so we don't have to worry about manually mining the stone anymore. And let's just grab the iron from there, and we'll go down and grab this coal. And you can see the smoke coming off here. Basically, when you put machines down, you will create pollution. And if we have a look on the map, we can't really see a whole lot at the moment, but you get enemy bases that spawn all around, basically. And as you create pollution, this starts to spread out. And as it goes over the enemy bases, first thing it does is it makes them stronger. And the second thing it does, it makes them attack you. So they'll start attacking you as soon as your pollution starts hitting them, which is bad news when you've got big bases that are all close together. So you need to have things like you can get walls and turrets and stuff like that, but you also just have to keep an eye on how much pollution you're creating and what enemy bases are nearby. Okay, so we've got 21 stone. We can make a couple more of these, and we're going to need to start getting some copper soon as well. Let's put half that in there, the other half in there. It's got a reasonable amount. Let's put 15, 16 in there, that should be fine. It's 19. Just bump this up to 20, just to keep it going for a little while. And grab the iron from there again. And I'm going to need more stone. So it should be enough to get some copper going over here. So just going to run down and put a couple of these down. So a couple of them, and we need a couple of them as well. And just take half of that and put it in there, then half of that and put it in there. So that's going to start getting us copper plates. So that's pretty much the basics of how I get going. All I'm going to do now is basically wait for the resources to build up a bit, put a couple more of these miners down and a couple more furnaces, and then once I've got some more materials going, I can sort of show you the next stage. So I'm going to do that off camera because it's a lot of running backwards and forwards, and you sort of get the idea, and I'll be right back. So welcome back. It's been about 10 minutes and I've just got enough resources to make a few things here. So you can see down here we've got a pump, some boilers, some steam engines, a lab, small electrical poles, inserters, pipes, and transport belts, and then some stone furnaces, which we'll be using in a little while. And I'm going to go on that bit. Yeah, I'm going to go on here. I've got a fair stockpile of resources now, and all my miners are fully fueled, so we're good to go there for a little while. So what I'm going to do is start setting up my power, and I'm going to set it up over here. So we need to put the pump down, and this will pull up the water. And I'm going to use an underground pipe. So let's just zoom in a bit here, and you'll see that it goes down. And then as I move up, you can see it will go all the way up until there, and then it won't go. So that will basically move the water underground, and that's useful because it means that I can walk through this space. If I just use these flat pipes, the just straight ones, it would go across there and you can't go across it, so it sort of becomes a bit of a pain. And then we're going to put down our boilers. I'm just going to run them along there, and then we're going to put down the inserters on this side. Do I want to put them on this side? Yes, I want to put them on this side. Whoops. Let's pick them up again. Yeah, put them on this side. And then from the end of this, we want to put a straight pipe. And then one of the underground pipes, and we'll just rotate that around so it connects to there. And we're going to feed that across to our engines. So we should be able to just run, I can't remember how many we have, I think it's 5 or 10. There's a certain ratio of things that you need, so we need 1 pump to 17 boilers, not 17, 14 boilers, to 5 engines, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Two, 3, 4, 5. Can't remember if it's 5 or 10, but I'll check it out and I'll let you know. So let's just try it with these for the moment, and we're going to put a normal pipe on there and a normal pipe on there, and then we're going to use the underground pipe, flip that round so that connects, and then flip that over to there, so that's connected all of them up. Excellent. The next thing we need to do is get the power poles in. So we're going to put one there. Let's get a bit closer. One there, one there, one there, and one there. And then we need to also power these guys. So we're going to need to connect that up. So let's put one there, then one there, one there, and one there. And let's just put one more down here so we can place our lab down here. So when we place our lab, you see it comes up with a list of technologies that you can research, and the first thing we're going to go for is the logistics, because that gives us the fast inserters, splitters and underground belts. And I'll get into the belts and the splitters and stuff in a moment, but that's basically the thing that you need first. So let's hit that, and it's saying it's got no power, and that's because we need to actually give it some fuel. So if we put some fuel in a couple of these boilers, that should start producing some power. So that's all looking good. They're getting water. That's good. And you see in here, when we open up the lab, we've selected logistics, so you can see logistics there, and you can see it's requiring science packs. So if we just open this up again, you can see it requires 20 red science packs. And if we look at a few other things here, that needs 10, that needs 10, that needs 20, this one needs 50 red ones and 50 green ones. And to make the science packs, and let's just go into our crafting. The red ones, you can see it takes copper plates and iron gear wheels. So it's not too much for the red ones, but then the green ones need transport belts and inserters. And the transport belts need iron plates, iron gears, and the inserters need electronic circuits, iron gears, etc., etc. So the more that you have, the higher up the tiers you go, the more crafting is required to make the packs. So for the moment, I'm just going to make 20 of these manually. So if I right click on this, it will make 5 at a time. And then once these are crafting, I can just chuck them in there. And let's just have a bit of a shift around here. And I just clicked on that with the middle mouse button, and that basically locks that position. So nothing else can go into that first position there. Because it's always useful to have the transfer belts to hand. And while that's crafted, I'm also going to make a couple of electric mining drills, I think. And let's chuck them 5 in there. So you can see when I put them 5 in there, it's used one of them, and the progress is starting to go up. And then you'll see also in the top right hand corner, once this bar hits the top, you're going to get a little bit of progress on there as well. So let's just keep chucking them in there. And you see that went up, and that went up slightly. Excellent. So let's run down and grab some more resources here. So these should all be doing reasonably okay for fuel. And they are actually all full of iron, so that's a bit of a waste to have them sitting there, but that should be fine. This guy needs a bit more fuel. Let's just chuck some wood in there for now to keep him going. Don't really need that much stone now, so that should be fine. And let's come down and grab the copper. And these are still doing okay for fuel, that's good. And we'll grab the coal out of here and just go and refuel a few things if we need to. Excellent. So yeah, I'm going to make a few of these. Let's make 10 of them. And I'm probably going to need more transport belt as well, so I'm going to shift click. So if you shift and left click, it will basically make all of them. So if I shift click that, it'd make 50, but I don't need 50 of them at the moment. And what would we need? We'd need more iron. That's what we'd need to make more of them. So you can see we've got a crafting queue here, so it has to make all the subcomponents first before it can make the thing that you actually requested. And depending on what you're making, some things can take quite a long time to manually craft. That's why you set up automated systems for them. So let's just quickly run back up to our lab and see how that's doing. And let's chuck them 12 into there. So that's going nicely. I'm going to chuck a little bit more fuel into some of these. So just half in there, and half into that, and half into that. And that should be enough. We're not using a lot of power at the moment. And once we get going, then this is all going to be fed automatically with coal. And let's just start setting this up. So these are transport belts. And basically, transport belts can be used to move materials around. So once we get the miners set up, you'll see how they work. Basically, the miners will put the items onto a transport belt, and then the inserters can pick items off a transport belt or put them into a transport belt, depending on which way they're facing. So these ones are going to be set up with coal, and it'll just pick up the coal off this belt and put them into these boilers. I'm sort of planning where I'm going to set my smeltery system up. Haven't got any coal very close by, have we? It's all sort of down this way, so that's a bit of a pain. Let's put some coal into that. Where is the closest coal? It's right down here. I think we'll go for that coal patch that we had over here. So I think I'm going to set the coal up and have the... If I look at the map, so the coal's here. I'm going to have this coming up and over to this way, and I think up in this area is where we're going to set up our smeltery area. So we've got power systems over on this side, smeltery is going to be up here, so I've got plenty of room to expand upwards with that, and then the main build I think is going to go off over in this direction. So yeah, that should be fine. And then I've got plenty of space here because this is all the oil patches, so we've got space for oil refinery over here. And then everything else will get built out along that direction. So yeah, that's going to be our plan. So just sort of waiting on more resources here for the moment. I'm going to need some more, probably going to need more transport belt than that, although that might be enough to get us started here. Let's just grab that. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up the coal line. So let's run back over to where our coal mines are. And take these down. And let's cut that tree down as well. So we're using now the electric mining drills, and these basically, as they imply, run off electricity. So we're going to put one there, and if you look around the edge of them, you can see a green square, and that's basically their area of effect. So we've got here, the area of effect is covering all of this section here, so that will get mined out eventually. And I'm just going to put some transfer belt here. And you can see these, I don't know how that actually got power to do that. There must have been a bit of cold air, but once these got power, then it will start mining and put it onto that belt. And our logistics has just finished researching, so we're going to hit automation next, because that will be the next thing that we need. Let's just zoom out so we can see what we're doing here. So we're going to need the belt to come all the way up here, and then up round here, and then over this way. So let's just zoom back in so we can see again. And let's just take the lab out for the moment. And we're going to run it probably to about there. That should miss that copper vein there. So that's good. And we're just going to run it across. Let's just zoom out again so I can see how far I need to go. Oops. And I really wish there was something that would give you increased range on where you can place things, because I do this all the time. I sort of start running away, then I'm too far away to actually be able to place the stuff. So that's going to go along to there. I'm going to leave space here for all of the boilers and power supply to go in, and then this space up here is going to be for smelting. So where was our coal? Coal's down there, so let's just run it up to here. Need to get closer again, and we should be okay. Actually, just put a corner on this, that should be fine. And we'll run this down. And you use an absolute ton of transport belt, so that's why you basically want to automate making that fairly soon, because otherwise you're just going to be sat there waiting for it to manually craft all the time. Okay, so that's got the coal going up past the boilers there. And in a minute we're going to set up the smelteries, and what I like to do with the coal, because I use it for smelting to begin with until you get electric furnaces and for power, is basically set up a loop so that there's always coal on the loop, and that's going past the boilers and past the smeltery all the time. And that way when you're zoomed out you can quickly see if you've got enough fuel there, and if there's no coal on the belt, you know you've got a problem. So let's actually just run some power cable down there so we can start seeing this going. So you can see here, when I get close enough, it has a little cable that pops up that shows that it's connected to the main grid. So if I hold down the left mouse button and just move across, it's going to automatically place them down at the maximum distance. And I'm just going to move this down and then across to here. And that's just powered them both up. So we'll see this coal starting to come off onto this belt here. So the next thing we're going to want to do is do the same for the copper and for the iron. So I'm just going to pick these up because I don't really need them there anymore. So that's one. And let's grab the iron as well. How much iron? I should have plenty of iron here to be able to do what I need to do to get this going. And that one. And I could have just left them mining, it wouldn't hurt anything to do that, but just really wanted to get them out of the way, so I got plenty of space here. And you'll see these guys will start picking up coal when they need it. Has it actually got up here yet? No, it's still over there, so it's quite slow. You can get faster transport belts later on, but it's not really a big deal at the moment. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually set up something on this copper vein here. So let's put one of them there, and actually let's take this out and put one there, and we'll move this one over a little bit. And this is going to need power as well, so let's get some power up there. And apologies if it gets a bit dark, I haven't actually got the technology to put lights up yet, so I know YouTube tends to make things fairly dark, and there's not really a lot I can do about that at the moment. The other thing I'm going to need actually is I'm going to need the underground transport belt, so let's chuck our lab back down for a second. And we want, how much do we need for automation? I think it was 10. Oh, actually we already have underground transport belt, what am I talking about? So let's make a few of them, make a few splitters as well, and make the rest of the transport belt that we can make. And while I'm waiting for that, let's put a couple of these down too. So let's put, let's set them up over here. So one there, and one there, one there, and one there. That should do nicely. And just waiting on transport belt for these now. So let's just power these up. And I'm going to start laying out where I want the smeltery to happen. So let's just grab hold of these, and we're going to have 10 for coal, 10 for iron and 10 for copper at the moment. So let's put it about here. I'm going to leave a little bit of space at the bottom in case we need to finagle some transport belts in. But I'm going to basically put, it's going to be a pain as well, that. Let's move it over a little bit more. So I'm going to have one, and then leave a space, and then another one, leave a space, another one, leave a space. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 will do it actually for the moment. And I'm going to need some fast inserters as well actually. So yeah, I think maybe what I'll do is I'll wait for these things to all craft up, and then I'll be back when I've got it all ready to go. So welcome back, and I just researched the automation because I needed the long-handed inserters, and I've also just set up a temporary smeltery system here, just ready to pick up the iron from this. And just notice that that belt isn't actually connected. There we go. So just pick up the iron from this and get some iron plates because I needed to make some more inserters and a few bits and bobs, some more belt as well. So we're now ready to connect all this up, and you can see up here basically what I've got is I've got one belt in the middle that's going down, and that's going to be our fuel line, so it's going to be the coal. And I've got two belts going up, and one side's going to be the iron ore and the other one is going to be the copper ore. So if we start setting this up, we can put in the inserters. And we want one inserter, one normal inserter for each of these. So let's put one of them in all of them. And that's going to be picking up the ores. Then we'll just flip it around to do the same on the other side. And I'm going to need to make some more of them as well. So let's just set some of them to craft. And then we're going to use the long-handled inserters. Basically, the long-handled inserters will pick up, normal inserters will pick up from the belt next to it. Long-handled inserters will pick up from one belt over. So it'll pick up from this middle belt. So that's going to be used to pick up the fuel to fuel these furnaces. And the reason I've left a gap in, I don't know if I said already, I've left a gap in between these is because these furnaces are 2x2. But as you upgrade them and you get the electrical furnaces, they're actually 3x3. So I've left a gap here, so later on I can actually upgrade it without having to completely demolish it and rebuild it all again. So I can just chuck the electronic furnaces just straight on top. Let's just chuck that there and that there. One of them there, and there, and there. It's all good. And then I'm just going to need the outputs. So I'm just going to put the outputs on this side. And then flip it round and do the same on this side. And then what I'm going to do is put a belt on that side as well. And again, that's just so that I can have space to be able to expand and put the electric furnaces in there, and it also gives me a bit more room to balance these out, because if I just run a belt straight down here and there's sort of a backlog of resources, then this can't actually put it out if the belt's full, so it just gives it that little bit more space to put resources onto. So let's do that all the way up. And same on this side, but facing the opposite way. And the nice thing with this setup is that I can just keep expanding it. So I could either keep building upwards and just keep add more and more up that way, or I can just loop it round and have it come in over this way and just run it over this way and just sort of copy paste this idea. Next thing I'm going to do is have the finished resources coming out. And let's just get over that side. And I'm also going to use these splitters. And basically what a splitter will do, if you put a splitter down, it will take the resources that are going down the belt and split it equally both sides. So what happens with the transfer belts is, let's get rid of that. If item comes off this belt onto this one, it will just get put on this right hand side. So all the items are just going to stack up on the right hand side. There'll be nothing on the left hand side. So by putting the splitter here and then angling a belt onto the left hand side, it's going to split half of it off onto there and put it on that side. So it's going to equally distribute the items between both sides of the belt. And I'm going to put a couple of them in, and I found that this actually stops it getting backlogged so quickly, and you can get more materials onto the belt at a time. So rather than just one side of the belt being used, it's using both of them. And we'll put one more just here, and that should do. And then we're going to do the same over this side. So let's grab one of them and put that there, and there, and there, and the belts, oops, there, and there. So that's basically what we need to be set up, and we're going to get the fuel coming over here as well. So let's see, how far up do we need to go? Not too far, just about there. So run that up to there, and across. Yep, that's got it. And run this across, and we're going to hook this up to the coal that's over here. Excellent, and just flip that around. So the coal's going to start coming over, and that's going to feed the coal line into there, and then it's going to come back and feed back into this line over here. So what I'm going to do is actually just rotate that so it goes around to that side, and put a splitter in. So it's going to merge them two belts together fairly nicely. Let's do it this way actually. So let's just flip this round and put it that way, and we'll take that line out and do it that way. So this is quite a nice system to rebalance the belt and get it all merged into one. So that should work just fine once all this goes down. Next thing we need to do is actually get the ores running up here. So I'm going to run the coal up on the right hand, not the coal, the iron up on the right hand line. So let's do this over this way, and to get it across this line here I'm going to use these underground belts, and if I put it down there, this works similar to the underground pipes, so that'll actually run it underground under that belt. That's going to run that up there, and then the same thing here. Let's just run this over there, and nope, not that way, and then up there. I've actually run out of belt, so you can see how much belt you use. I had hundreds there and it's all gone already. Let's get some power into this guy. So let's put one there, one there, one there, and one there. It's all nice and symmetrical as well, which is always important. And then I need to hook this across to the main power lines. So let's put one there, and on here should do it. Excellent. Oh yeah, I got a little bit confused there while I was iron coming out of that, but I had some iron ore in one of these furnaces, so that explains it. So you can see here, all the iron's getting processed. It's all coming down onto this belt, so that's excellent. And then we should be able to run this belt underground. Let's put it up one more, run that across to there, and then that's our copper ore going up. Let's just pick that up so it's not messy, and we'll chuck it in there. So brilliant, and you can see here what I was talking about with the fuel line. You can easily see we've got plenty of fuel on that line, so that's all good. And I can go back and pick all of this stuff up now because I don't need that there. Brilliant. So let's just grab all of them. And pick that all up. Brilliant. So that's a fairly good start. We've got the first part of it done. So we've got all the smelting automated, and like I said, this is easy to expand this system. We can just keep building the same thing upwards and just move this line up as we go. So that's a nice, simple solution. And next episode, we're going to run these lines down and start on our main bus. And basically what the main bus is, it's one way of playing the game that you have all of your main resources running on lines all the way through your belt, all the way through the base on belts, and then as you need them you just put a splitter in, you can split off resources and then do whatever you need with them, and it's quite a nice way to do it. I actually got into this game by watching Zisto, and he has a massive bus system. Basically every item you can craft is on his bus system, which is not the most efficient way to do it, but it definitely looks cool. That's not what I'm going to be doing. I'm basically just going to be doing the main resources on there, so it'll be things like steel and iron and copper and plastic and things like that, which are used a lot, and they're going to be on the bus system, and then everything else like the gears and stuff is going to be just made as and when it's needed. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. It's run a little bit longer than I wanted, but I wanted to get the basic system set up so we had a good start for the next episode. So yeah, next episode we'll get that running and we'll get the green science going as well. So yeah, until then, hope you liked it. See you later. Take care. Bye bye.